We're going to be talking about experimental probability. We've already talked about theoretical. Theoretical is the probability that is expected. Okay, if you flip a coin, it could be the heads or tails. But experimental, remember, if I'm writing, you're writing. Experimental probability is a probability based on an experiment. So this is where you actually have either a dice or a coin and you flip it and you record your results. Okay, the steps. The first step is to find your total. It means you're gonna add up. You're gonna add up how many times you did the experiment. The second step is to write your probability. What I mean by that is I want to see on your paper where you put P parentheses. Remember, P means probability. So the probability of landing on a 2 over the total. That's what I want to see when I ask you to write the probability. You're telling me what the question's asking for. Then you are going to reduce your fraction. Remember, your magic numbers are 2, 3, and 5. And number 4 is to turn into decimal. So make sure you have those steps written. Pause the video if you need to. Okay. So example 1 says record the results of a spinner. Let's just say I had a spinner. I'm going to draw it on the side here for you. Let's say it was A, B, C, and D. We have the little hand. Let's just say I spun the spinner and these were the results. You're going to write this down. There were 4 in A, 2 in B, there were 6 in C, and there were 3 in D. Okay. So go ahead and make sure you write those in. It says, based on these results, what is the experimental probability that the next letter will be spun on B? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my total. I'm going to add up all the times that we did the experiment. Okay, so I got 4 plus 2, which is 6. 6 plus 6, which is 12, and then 12 plus 3, which is 15. So that's my total. Okay, all I did was add up these little tally marks. That's all I did. So my total is going to be 15. Okay, my second step, it says to write my probability. So that means I'm going to write P parentheses. It's asking for B. So I'm going to put P parentheses B over total. I already know my total, so I'm just going to fill that in. Total is 15. But I need to see how many times it landed on B. Well, if I look down here, it says for the letter B, it landed twice. So I'm going to put a 2 on top. Okay. Third step is to reduce. Can I reduce 2 over 15? Well, no, because 2 can go into 2, but not 15. Same thing for 3. 3 can go into 2, but 3 can go into 15, and 5, nope. So that is going to stay 2 over 15, or we got to make this into a decimal. So you are going to divide 2 divided by 15, and that is going to give you, let's see, so this one's going to be a 0.13. Okay, so I'm just going to box my answers. For B, it says, based on the results, what is the experimental probability that the next letter will be an A or C? Okay, so it's asking for A or C. Again, I'm going to do my steps. I'm going to find my total. My total, I've already done it. It's 15. So I'm just going to write it again. Total is 15. The next step is to write my probability. What is it asking for? My question is asking for either A or C. Over total. Remember, that or means plus. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my 15 because I know my total is 15. And now I'm going to put my numbers for A. A has 4 plus, and my C is 6. So it's going to be 10 over 15. Okay, that is my probability of landing on A or C. So now step 3, I'm going to reduce. So 10 over 15, I can reduce it, not by 2 or 3, but by 5. So I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, this one should be a common factor. This one is going to know that 2 over 3 in decimal form is 0.66, and it's kind of repeated. So just go ahead and box your answer. Your answer could be 2 over 3, or if it asks for decimal form, it's going to be 0.66. So this isn't too different from theoretical probability. Okay, so turn it over on the back. Now these I want you to fill in. Again, this is, it says record the results of the spinner in the table. Well, this is talking about a dice. Remember, a dice has 6 sides, and it goes from number 1 all the way to number 6. So let's just say we rolled the dice and these were our results. So just make sure you copy what I have in mind. So 3 tally marks for 1, 6 tally marks for 2, 2 tally marks for 3, 3 tally marks for 4, again 3 tally marks for 5, and 1 tally mark for 6. So make sure your paper looks like mine. Okay, it says A is, what is the probability the next number rolled is a 3? So I have to go ahead and do my steps. My first step was to find my total. So my total, again, is not these numbers on the left side. It's just telling you what was on the dice. What my total is going to be is how many times we did the experiment. How many times did I roll the dice? So my total, I'm going to add up all of these tally marks. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So my total is 18. Okay, so I did my total. The next step is to write my probability. It's asking for the probability of rolling a 3. So I'm going to put the number 3 on top over total, and I'm going to look and see how many number 3s did we roll. We rolled 2. So 2 over my total is 18. Okay, not finished. Now I have to reduce my fraction. Can I divide it by 2, 3, or 5? Well, I can already see I can divide it by 2. So I'm going to divide the top and bottom number by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. That is going to be my final answer. And remember, you have to turn this into a decimal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 1 divided by 9 is 0.11. So I'm just going to box both of my answers. Okay, this next one you are going to do on your own. It says, what is the probability that the next number is a 4 or a 3? Remember, we already have our total, so you should be writing your probability. The probability is asking for a 4 or a 5, and if you remember, that's asking me to add. Or means to add. We're going to put total on bottom. So for 4, I have 3 plus 5. 3 plus 3 tally marks, and then the bottom is going to be 18, my total. Okay, it still hasn't changed. So 6 over 18. I want you to finish that. Make sure you reduce it and then turn it into a decimal. So number C is really important. This is what I wanted to go over with you. It says, what is the probability the next row is number less than 4? So this one's going to make you think. You have to think about what number is less than 4. So if I look over here at my numbers, which ones are less than 4? Well, I got 3, 2, and 1. Okay? So the probability of it being less than 4 over total. Again, my total has not changed, stays 18. But what I'm going to put on top is not 3, 2, or 1. Remember, you're counting the the experiment, how many times did you roll the dice? So I'm not going to count 3 plus 2 plus 1. What I'm going to count is 2 plus 6 plus 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 6 is 11. So 11 is going to go up here. Okay? Be careful with that. They're going to make you think about it, and they're going to assume that you don't know what you're doing. So 11 over 18, I have to reduce that. I cannot make that any smaller, so I'm just going to turn this into a decimal, which is going to give me 0.61. Go ahead and box your answer. Okay, we're moving on to the next part. These you will see on the DCP and the STAR. It says Marco rolled a number cube. He rolled a number cube, and this is what his results were. So it says, what is the experimental probability the next time the number cube is rolled, it will land on a 2? Okay, the first thing I want to do is find my total. Again, you are not going to add up these numbers on the inside. That's not what it's asking you. Because if you remember, a number cube has 6 sides, and those sides are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's why these numbers only go from 1 through 6. We want to see how many times he did the experiment. So we're going to count all these boxes here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the total times that he rolled that number cube is 12. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, we found our total, we're going to write our probability. Probability of landing on a 2 over total. Okay, so we got, how many 2's are there? We got 1, 2, 3. There's 3 2's over 12. That's my total. Okay, can I reduce this? Yes, I can. I'm going to reduce it by 3 on top and bottom. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, I should know what this is in decimal form. It's 0.25. That is my answer. Okay. The next one I want you to do. It says, based on the results, what is the experimental probability that the number cube will be a 4 or a 6? So we already have my total. My total is 12. I'm going to write my probability. 4 or a 6 over total. So how many times did I see 4 or 6? I'm going to go ahead and circle them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that means I have seen 4 or 6 5 times, and my total is 12. Can I make that any smaller? No, but I can make it into a decimal, which I'm going to divide 5 divided by 12, and it's going to give me 0.41. That is my answer. Oops, gave you the answer. All right, so the next one, I guess you're going to do the next one. It says, based on these results, what is the experimental probability? Will land on a heads and a 3. So there's 2 things going on here. We rolled a number cube and we flipped a coin. Okay, so on my coin it could be heads or tails, and on my number cube it could be 1 through 6. So these were the results. So the total, to find my total, remember, you're going to have to add up how many boxes there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I counted 20. The question's asking for the probability of landing on a heads and a 3. So I'm going to go through these and see how many have heads and 3. If it just has heads, that's not what it's asking for. It's asking for heads and 3. Okay, over total. Okay, so let's see, we got 1, 2, is that it? Yep, 2. So 2 over my total is 20. I'm going to make this smaller by reducing by 2, and that's going to give me 1 over 10. You're going to divide 1 divided by 10 to get 0.10. That is my answer. Okay. The next one, I promise you're going to do this one. I'm not going to finish it. It says, what is the experimental probability she flips a coin and rolls a number cube? it will land on tails and the number 5. Okay, so we have our total is 20, but we want to see the probability of tails and 5. So you're going to go through here and you're going to circle T and 5. Okay, you're going to put that over total. Remember, you already have your total. Total is 20, so you should be putting that number on the bottom, and then you're going to put how many times you see T5. After that, you're going to simplify your fraction and reduce it.